But people have to understand that we are all in this together, and that there's organizations that want to drive us apart. And the way to work out our differences is having conversations and negotiations and figuring out how to work it out. It's not lighting cop cars on fire. Like, this is,
Yeah. But the spirit of those, like, not to defend any of that crap, but that rebellious nature in us is important too, though. It just has to be directed correctly.
Right. You shouldn't be burning Waymos while holding a Mexican flag, trying not to get sent back to Mexico. I mean, you're confusing the fuck out of me, dog. Like, who is your oppressor? Is it the electric car? Is it the country which, you want to stay, but you're holding a flag of another country?
Yeah.
Like, why are you wearing a mask? Are you proud of this? Do you not want to get arrested? What are we doing? Are you scared of COVID? Like, I want to know.
Well, it goes back to what you said about mass manipulation, and also, like, we've all sort of lost our identity. That's why politics has become so prevalent in, like, the way people represent themselves to other people, and, like, that's like as our culture and our tradition and, like, sort of the knowledge of where our families and all of that stuff comes from. Like, we're just little boats out in a big ocean, and we're looking for some kind of identity to reach out and grab. And politics, they make politics so easy to reach out and grab and make. Just like in the same way that people just absorb themselves into sports.
Exactly.
They're way out of shape, but they refer to their sports team as we. Like, our defense did really
Jamie
good.
does that all the time. We won. Talks about a college.
Where I'm from.
Some college where he's from.
Well, that's maybe.
Get out of here.
Maybe if he's from there, though, then it doesn't count.
Oh, I'm just fucking around.
Yeah.
I'm not a team sports guy. I'm a combat sports guy, and I would never say we won. Like, if Kamaru Usman beat somebody, I never say we won. Kamaru would call me up. What the fuck are you saying, man? We. You know what I did in camp? How many rounds I sparred?
Yeah, all the punches you took.
It's so crazy. But if there's a group of guys, you can say we.
But that's
so silly.
I see that, like, I just see that becoming more and more prevalent, where there's not, like, I don't know. It's sort of just like, it's kind of even to expand on the thought of it, it's even like the way that now we've all just sort of, we're all in these subcategories the way we would be if we were in prison. We're all like,
right,
in the same way that when we use the word black and white to describe, like, how many different types of white and black are there that all just get merged? It's like, it like creates this maybe like group identity that's a lot easier to control. Like,
for sure. Well, and then it shifts over time. Like, my family wasn't white. My family was Italian. They were disparaged when they first came to America from Europe. And my grandfather used to tell me terrible stories of what happened to him when he was a boy living in America as an Italian. They treated them the same way terribly racist people were treating people from Guatemala that sneak in here. It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. And then after a while, they sort of integrated, and now I'm white.
Yeah, now you're just a white person.
Now I'm just a regular white.
But it's easy now in big public narrative and stuff it's a lot easier to accuse you and 30 other different nationalities of people who are all very culturally different and unique, and just call all of you white people, and then pick the worst thing that one of those nationalities did and just cast it among the whole group. But it happens with every ethnicity, every identity. The goal is to, like, put everyone in the world in one of 3 or 4 buckets, and then hopefully figure out how to just put all of them into one bucket eventually. It's like, it's so much easier to control 2 or 3 different types of people than it is 30 or 40 or 100 or 1,000,
Which is also, I think, why they never fix the problems that ail our inner cities. They want to keep that conflict. I really believe that. Because if somebody wanted to have a better, stronger economy, the first thing you would do is you want more people in the workforce. So you'd want less people that are disenfranchised, completely out of society, felons, all that stuff. That doesn't do anything but cost the country money, right? Unless you have private prisons. Now, in private prisons, those people become a business, and then that business contributes to the escalation of laws. And they want to make sure that laws stay in place, because that way their business is always full. They have plenty of customers. Their customers are human beings that they turn into batteries to generate money. That's what it is. It's like those people, every person they have in there, they get more money, which is wild. It's wild that we allow that. But then it's also like keeping a certain amount of crime in certain areas ensures that you're always going to have debates over law enforcement. You're always going to have conversations over we need DEI, we need this, we need quotas, we need to hire more people of this or of that, ignoring the fact that a lot of these things, especially with universities, are the most racist, especially towards Asians. They're racist as fuck towards Asians. There's lawsuits about it. Harvard, is that still going on, the Harvard lawsuit? Where they specifically made their application process, like the whole acceptance process, more difficult for Asians because they were kicking too much ass. They had too many like Asian people that were willing to fucking work their ass off, study 12 hours a day, get straight A's. They're like, man, there's too many of these folks. We got to make it tougher.
What did they do to make it more difficult specifically?
They attached a bunch of things. I believe the argument is they attached a bunch of things like social stuff. Like, how much do you engage in, activism? How often are you involved in, social activities on campus? What other things are you doing other than just pure academic work? They're like trying to slow them down. They're literally trying to slow them down.
Yeah, that's another great example too. Like even just that they can blanket Asian like that as such a. Right. Like
it's Indian, it's Chinese. There's a lot of, but
yeah,
people that come from a hard place are willing to work hard. That's the difference. And the problem with meritocracy is that some motherfuckers will go for it. And if you get a whole country of people going for it, that gets scary for the people that just want to take naps.
It's the same psychology that goes in, like in a lot of the smaller Appalachian towns, like where we recorded was really close to Bramwell, West Virginia. But if you look at even if you look at Bramwell, West Virginia, and their recent political history, like the last mayor they had, she embezzled money from the town, and there was like, and this isn't a very small town, so government corruption exists like
everywhere,
and it almost is like maybe in those big cities. I understand definitely that I think things are intentionally neglected, like to create chaos and to create this, like you said, this need for more resources and more. But it's also just that maybe a lot of those people that are in positions are just very spineless and self-centered, and like they don't even care that people are dying in their streets. They're worried about the money that can be made and the ego and the power of it. It goes back to kind of what I said in that ARC speech about lack of leadership. I just see that like if we had people in big cities or in small Appalachian towns that had like a real backbone to them and like and had they were in a real position of like leadership where they wanted to fix things, that a lot of that stuff would get addressed and covered. But we just don't have the right people in power, maybe even is what it is. Even in local and state government.
The right people don't run. They don't want that job, man. They don't want that smoke. They don't want people attacking them. They don't want any of it. The right people are the people that don't want to be president.
It's almost like they've made these positions only appealing to people who are like sort of criminals. Sociopaths or criminals. Yeah.
For real. Like, who the fuck wants to run everything? You got to be crazy. Yeah. I don't even like running my whole house. I don't like having employees. It's too much responsibility.
What do you think would happen if just some normal people ran the country, though? Like just some average Joes. Like, what if me and you just went and ran what if you ran for president? What would happen?
We would get killed. We'd get put in a fucking convertible.
They would definitely shoot. They would definitely be able to hit my big head. That's for sure. Yeah, they wouldn't.
My head's not that little either. You want a cigar?
Yeah, let's do it.
People in power have always been horrible.
Yeah.
People, when they get unchecked power, have always been horrible. That's why directionally, like this whole No Kings protest that's supposed to go down on Saturday, directionally, it's correct. Like, you don't want kings, you don't want oligarchs, but who's funding it? Well, it turns out it's funded by an oligarch. It's funded by a lady worth $20 billion who is the heiress to Walmart, Walmart, a company that employs cheap labor and sells a lot of stuff from China that would be affected by tariffs. You know,
it's like that with all of them, though. It's like
that with everything, man. Everything is like it presents as being this moral situation. Like they're really looking out for you. They're really looking out for people. They're never really looking out for people. There's always some primary profit motive that's causing any organized thing. All